Dear students, now I am directly coming to my topic. It is pronoun reference. As per you remember that I have already given you 2 classes on how to clear the unclear pronoun references in an expression. We know that using pronoun is a must for the lucidity of a language, but we often use wrong pronoun and use some unclear expression which may disturb our communication. That is why we need to use exact pronoun where it is necessary. And if the sector never allows us to use any pronoun, we should avoid the high tendency of using pronoun in a wrong place which may disturb our communication. Though the sentences, the expressions are grammatically right, we should not use the expression because it hampers our communication, and those communication is being marked as a wrong sentence or wrong communication. So we have to be careful about the use of pronoun. Please, you are requested to remember my previous topics and go to my recorded 2 classes previously given to you. I am directly coming to practice now. It is practice 1. I have written. The question will be set likely. Identify the unclear pronoun references in the following paragraph. Your question will be set likely. The paragraph should be given here and you are to make necessary changes. Where necessary, rewrite the sentence so that all pronoun references get clear. Here I have written a total paragraph in front of you, and in the para there are some pronoun which should not be in use in the context. And what we should do at first we have to read the text again and again. So we are going through the text now. The text indicate, one afternoon a fox was walking through the forest and spotted a bunch of grapes hanging from over a lofty branch. Just the thing can quench his thirst, said he. Taking a few steps back, the fox jumped and just missed it. Again, it took a few paces back and tried to reach it but still failed. Finally, giving up, the fox turned up their nose and said, "They are probably sure anyway," and proceeded to walk away. The story is very much known to you. This is not very extraordinary or very unknown story. It is the story of a fox and grapes. And we are again reading out so that we can find out the unclear expression from our own understanding. One afternoon, a fox was walking through a forest. Here we feel no problem in our understanding. Then the line continues, and spotted a bunch of grapes. What is spotted? Here spotted means seen. Saw. Spotted a bunch of grapes hanging from over a lofty branch. And the expression is written in an inverted comma. It is blocked by an inverted comma. Just the thing can quench his thirst. Here the his expression is very much new here, and we are reading it, continuing it. We still don't know what this his term means. Said he. Said he, we don't know who is he. Now, but we can guess that a fox can be this he, though we know that we use it for any animal. But this is the story, this is a fable. Fable means the story of an animal where animal can be treated as a person, and we sometimes use he or she and other person, other sign which indicate a person. Okay, and we often don't use it, but it is the common rule that for any animal we use the term eat. For baby we use the term eat. But here he, okay, let's see what happened next. Just the thing can quench his thirst, said he. His thirst and he, there are two types of person, there are two people. We see that there are two people here. We have, and this is something confusing. We are continuing it, identifying that there is a problem. Okay, and taking a few steps back, the fox jumped and just missed it. So we are getting that this may be the words of a fox. The expression is given by the fox. So here his may be a wrong expression. Maybe it may be I, and he, I have already told that he sometimes is used even for any animal if it is a fable. Fable means the story of animals. The fox jumped and missed it. Here it is somehow confusing. Missed what? The grubs, the jump, the target, and what? We are not sure. So these types of using it is a common use which we may sometimes use it for many tasks, and sometimes we may use it for any animal and for any expression. Okay, and we often use it as a pronoun. Sometimes using it as a pronoun confuse the thing, and we may get another way from our own understanding. So again we are reading, the fox jumped and just missed it. The it is not clear here. It is not indicating the right thing clearly. Though the sentence is grammatically correct, but the expression is somehow confusing. Again it took a few paces back and tried to reach it, but still failed. Here another problem with it. Again it took a few paces back. So this it may be the fox, and for the very first time we use here he. And again the paragraph is using the term it. In a single para, in a single text, in a single passage, these two types of pronoun, firstly we are using he for a fox, and secondly we are using it for a fox. It is highly confusing, and it is of course a wrong thing, because if we are starting with it, we should continue it throughout our paragraph, and if we are starting with he and some other expression, we should continue with the term. So here it must not be used. Again it took a few paces back and tried to reach it. Again reach it is a wrong expression, because it here also never indicate what he tried to reach. So the expression may be likely, again the fox took a few paces back and tried to reach the bunch, or tried to reach the grubs, whatever, but it is here very much confusing. We must not use such type of confusing statement while we are in conversation and while we are trying to communicate our view. but still failed. Okay, so, and finally, giving up, the fox turned up their nose. Here the fox, here a fox, it indicates that there was only one fox in the story. So here their nose is not the correct expression. His nose should be the right expression, because for if the subject is singular, there should not be used because it is plural. Giving up, the fox turned up their nose. So we should read it lightly. Finally, giving up, the fox turned up his nose, and they are probably sure that way. This they are means the grapes, and we know that they is the plural form of eat. For fruits, for vegetables, we may use the pronoun eat, but if it continues as a plural, we should use the form they. They are probably sure anyway. That means giving up means many lips. Finally, and stop doing. Well, finally, the fox turned up, stopping his nose into the fact, and he said, they are probably sure anyway. The grapes are probably sure anyway, and proceeded to walk away. The story is common, no problem from taking our help from our previous expression, from our previous knowing. But this sorts of expression, his, eat, the use of eat again and again, there, these are wrong use of pronoun, and these sorts of using pronoun often confuses our expression, and that is why these are called unclear pronoun. And our task is to identify the unclear pronoun references, and we should use the right use of pronoun, and where pronoun should be changed, we should have to change the pronoun, and where noun should be in use, we should use the noun. That is all about the clearing pronoun. That is all, and I have discussed these things, how wrong use of pronoun amalgamate our expression, how wrong use of pronoun misguide us from knowing. And now I am going to discuss how to find out the unclear things. We have to read the passage again and again. I have already read the passage again and again for you, and it is a help that the story is known story. If the story is unknown to you, no matter, continue reading it again and again, and underline the words that disturbs your understanding. Where you feel hazy, where you feel something unclear, so underline the pronoun which are disturbing your own understanding. That is the technique. If you underline the pronoun, you will get to what direction you need to go. Apply your innate sense of grammar. When you are correcting something, even in the case of rewrite verb, we have seen that you need to gaze past with your inner grammatical sense. Here also, while you are clearing unclear references, you have to use your innate sense of grammar. So long you are not good in grammar, you will be not able to correct the expression, because without knowing grammar, it will be difficult for you to find out the true meaning. In every case, reading is very, very important, and the reading habit will help you to understand the gazing of the meaning, and the gazing of the meaning will be blessed, will be reached by your knowledge of grammar. That is how you have to use your innate sense of grammar, and you have to read the passage again and again, applying new words, applying new pronoun from your own understanding, and you have to make sure that the word you have picked from your memory, from your knowledge, should clear the total context, and it clears the hazy passages where the extracting meaning is difficult for you. That is all about the rules. This is not rules actually, because clearing unclear pronoun has no basic rules to be discussed. It is rather all about your understanding, and it is all about testing your own knowledge. It is all about making your understanding and expression clear, so that you can be bold and clear in your expression, and your communication is correct. Nowhere there is a problem. So that is all about the rules. There is no hard and fast rules which must be followed. Rather, you have to go through every piece of rules which is being used in another expressions, which is being used in your another writing and another grammatical phenomenon and sectors. You have to just be careful about the use of gender, be careful about the use of number, and be careful about knowing the subject. This is a primary level help. At the same time, you have to understand the expression, whether the expression is active or whether the expression is passive. You have to know, and from your understanding you can change the meaning. So I am discussing it again, how you have to read the passage again and again, then underline the hazy pronoun or hazy expression or hazy and unclear word that disturb your own understanding. Of course, apply your innate sense of grammar. Without applying your sense of grammar, only mere use of word will disturb. And again, read the passage again and again, applying the new words, applying the new pronoun from your own understanding, making sure that the pronoun, of course, cleared the hazy passages and it helps your communication correctly. That is all about grammatical rules. And you have to remember that students of 11 and 12th class are often doing bad with pronoun references. When we examine the script of your SSC exam, we see that only 1 and 2 students get full mark, and the whole of you just throw pebbles into the water to reach the point. That is not right approach. The approach is you should grow a habit of reading and understanding. At the same time, you should grow your own habit of understanding grammar, and these two skills will deliberately make your expression clear and bold. That is all about the rules. I have tried to mention how I have changed his. This is an expression his. I have pointed out and underlined it as a wrong thing. And then his, just the thing to quench his thirst, said he. This is the sentence. And here his is being changed because in direct expression, in direct speech, we don't use his. If it is an indirect expression, his may not be any problem, but here we have to use my. And here it, the fox jumped and just missed it. The it is not clearing what it really means. So using it is here hazy, and it is making the situation unclear. So it is a wrong use of sentence, wrong use of expression, wrong use of pronoun. Though the sentence is correct, but the expression is not clear. Again, it took a few pages back. It here another problem. We know that for fox we should use it, but here we are not using it at first, we are using he. So using it will be a great mistake here, because we have to use either he or it for a fox in a passage. You can't use both it and he in a passage. Okay, in a paragraph, the using he and it in a paragraph will be a very, very wrong thing. So it must be changed here. Again, it took a few patches back and tried to reach it. Again, it is another problem, and we really don't know what it means, but reach it. It means maybe the bunch or maybe the grapes, but it still failed. Okay, so it should be changed because it is not clearing the meaning. It is not very much specific about its noun. So using it as a pronoun here is making the thing unclear. It tried to reach it, but still failed. Here again the use of it is confusing. Tried to reach it, but still failed. Okay, and in the last sentence, I have told, finally giving up the fox. Finally giving up the fox turned up their nose. Here there for single fox using there is a wrong thing, and thus the pronoun is being identified and the expression is written here likely. After changing the word, thus will be the context. The passage will be written likely. One afternoon, a fox was walking through the forest and spotted a bunch of grapes hanging from a overlooked branch. "This the thing can quench my thirst," said he. Taking a few steps back, the fox jumped and just missed the attempt. Again, the fox took a pace back and tried to reach the bunch of grapes and still failed. Finally, giving up, the fox turned off his nose and said, "They are probably sure anyway," and proceeded to walk away. That is all about after changing the expression. Your passage, your paragraph will be written again, and thus the words will be underlined, and if possible try to use another ink so that you can help your examiner and you get quick mark. That is all about practice 1. And please remember, you have to practice more and more, because every time you will be facing new things, new expression, and which will enhance you, which will help you, your understanding, and you will be a better performer. Practice 2. Sentence is common, questions is also common. Identify the unclear pronoun references in the following paragraph. You have to identify the unclear expressions, and where necessary, rewrite the sentence so that all pronoun references get clear. So you have a liberty to change some word so that the whole paragraph create no confusion in your understanding. Okay, and this is a very peculiar sort of practice you will be facing here. A dog looking out for their afternoon nap. I have underlined, I have told you that a dog and the expression there, we never use plural pronoun for singular subject. A dog looking out for their afternoon nap jumped into a manger. that means a tub where goat and cows used to take their food, where from the cows and goats used to take their food. That is tub, that is Gamla in Bangla we say. A dog looking out for their afternoon nap jumped into a manger of an fox and lay there cozily upon the straw. That means a dog looking out for a place where he can take his afternoon nap. So here there, using there is making the thing confused. So we have to change the pronoun. Okay. And what happened? He jumped into a manger of an ox so that he could take his afternoon nap, and where he lay there cozily upon the straw. But soon the ox, returning from its afternoon work. So here we are seeing that ox and eat. Here he or she is not being used for ox. They are using a pronoun that is eat. Okay, and we know that for animal we can use both. We can use eat, even we can use he if the story is all about animals. But soon the ox, returning from its afternoon work, came up to the manger and wanted to eat it. Again, the eat is confusing. It may means the dog, or it may means the manger itself, or it may means the straw where the where the dog was sleeping. So eat here is an unclear expression because it is indicating three things. It is indicating the dog itself, it is indicating the manger, at the same time it is indicating the straw. These three things are here. So using eat is making the total scenario unclear and confused in front of us. So we have to underline it as an unclear pronoun. The manger and wanted to eat unknowingly. The dog in a rag, being awakened from their slumber. Slumber means sleep. And here there we should not use plural pronoun for a singular subject. So use of there is just wrong, not confusing. It is wrong. Okay, the dog in a rag, being awakened from their slumber, stood up and barked at the ox. And whenever it came near, and this it is again confusing because this it may be the dog and this it may be the ox. So I didn't underlined it as a confused word. Whenever it came near to bite it. Eat here is another problem. Bite what? Bite the straw, bite the ox, bite the dog, bite the manger, whatever we really don't know. Okay, so this to it having 5 or 6 different meaning, and the 5 or 6 different meaning of course hampers our understanding and it confused the total context. At last, he had to give up the hope of getting at it. Who had to give up? We really don't know. Whether the dog had given up or the ox had given up, we really don't know. So here it is also being underlined as an unclear expression. At last, he had to give up the hope of getting at it. At it means from what? From the manger? Or from the situation? It is another confusing thing. And went away muttering. So here are too many eat, and the use of too many eat is making the total scenario ununderstandable in front of us. We have understood the scene, but we really don't know who had given up, whether the ox had given up or whether the dog has given up. We really don't know. And this use of eat is making the total scenario hazy. At the same time, the use of there for single noun, they are using plural pronoun. This is also a great mistake. Thus, the uses of pronoun or the wrong use of pronoun or the unclear use of pronoun often mislead us from the reality. How the situation should be changed, or we can change the total scenario. We are discussing it later on. Stood up and barked at the ox, whatever it come near to it and bite it. At last it had to give. That is the total confusing thing. I have written it again. And whenever it may be the dog or it may be the fox. So the expression may be whenever the dog came near to bite it. Bite what? So we are thinking that it may be the ox, because the ox was trying to eat something from the manger, or maybe the dog, because the dog is barking at the ox. Both expressions are correct, but whenever you are writing something, you have to write the meaningful expression. You have to write whether the ox or the dog. If you are writing the ox in your answer, the other expression will be changed. The other expression will not be the same. If we are using the term the dog, the other expression will not remain the same. Thus, you have to choose either the fox or the dog. Both answers are correct as per the situation what you are writing in the next portion. So understanding the context, at the same time understanding the meaning and understanding the grammar even is necessary for getting good marks in pronoun references. And that is why the students are doing bad with it. Whenever it came near, attempted to bite it. So I have tried to write it. How can you change and what expression? I have already given you clue about it. And here also it. At last it may be the ox or maybe the dog. It had give up the hope of getting it. It means the manger or it means the straw. We really don't know. I have already discussed these things in front of you. Just for your understanding, I have set the slide so that you can get a quick look. And thus the thing get changed. A dog looking out for their afternoon nap. It and they is used for a baby or animal. It is grammatical rules. But for a fable, you can use it or they. But for single noun, you have to use, of course, a single pronoun, not plural pronoun. So the expression will be a dog looking out for its afternoon nap or his afternoon nap. Both are correct. If you are using it, you have to continue the whole paragraph with it, using it everywhere. And if you are using his, you have to continue your whole paragraph using his. So both of them are correct. But if you using two togetherly, it will be a mistake. And if you are using it somewhere and his in some other place, it will be also a mistake. Thus the thing continues. Came up to manger and wanted to eat it. This eat is another confused statement, because here you are to use the dog or the manger so that it helps our understanding. You can use both, but you have to choose as per the context, and we have to read the total paragraph as a whole. The dog in a race, being awakened from their its or his, the things same. And after clearing all the unclear expression, the paragraph will be like, a dog looking out for his afternoon nap jumped into the manger of an ox and lay there cozily upon the straw. But soon the ox returning from its. So here for dog we are using his and for ox we are using its. But soon the ox, returning from its afternoon work, came up to the manger and wanted to eat the dog unknowingly, because the ox knows that in the manger there are some straw, but unknowingly he tried to eat the dog, okay, because the dog was lying into the rug. The dog in a rage, being awakened from his slumber, and stood up and barked at the ox, because the ox disturbed him, and whenever the ox came near, attempted to bite it. And it is another confusion.